Welcome back to another Flush 'em and Dust 'em podcast. This podcast is brought to you by Uplander Outfitters. Go check them out. Tonight we have the Hippie Uplander. So last time we had the Unhip. This is the Hippie Uplander, Everett Giberson. Super excited to have you on. Let's just jump into it and have you introduce yourself and take it from there.
Right on. So I'm Giberson. Legal name is Everett Giberson, but I go by Ubi, or the Hippie Uplander. I think it's funny.
Yeah.
So I'm originally from New Jersey. Grew up hunting all my life. My family's like hardcore into hunting everything that moved in New Jersey. My dad was like a duck guide, and he actually guided for Babe Ruth back in the day.
Oh, really?
It was pretty cool.
That's awesome.
But I started like hunting hardcore as soon as you could legally do it in Jersey, which is 10.
Okay.
Just started slaying deer and everything else. Ducks, we got into ducks pretty good on the East Coast there. There's like a really good flow of ducks over there.
That is a good spot. I see that you have some coon. Are those coyotes hanging in the back?
Those are coyotes. I skinned out.
Yeah. Do you trap them or what do you do?
I just hunt them with my rifle and stuff. Call them in.
Nice.
I did some decoy dogging last month with Seth Simpson.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've heard of him.
Yep.
We did some of that too. We didn't get any, but normally I just call them in with the call.
Yeah. Was that your first time running them with dogs?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
usually I'm just by myself.
Yeah. How does that kind of work?
So Seth did it really, really cool. He has like a signal to his dog, and his dog will just start heading out in a direction, and he'll start pointing, and he'll mark them and get them to go out. And as soon as the dog hears another coyote howling and stuff, he'll just start darting that direction to go chase down the coyote and get them to kind of ease in and stuff. Yeah,
that's crazy.
Super cool.
That'd be pretty fun to try out. So where you living at now?
Over by like the Four Corners area, over by like Arizona, Utah, New Mexico, Colorado.
Yep. What brought you out to that area?
For work. I work for a guy. His name is Chad Reynolds. He's the co-host of Houndsman XP podcast. Really awesome houndsman and stuff. Yep. And I just work for him on his ranch, and we do animal training and all that stuff over here. But really, we just do everything we can to make sure we can just hunt our asses off.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it seems like you've had a pretty good year so far, and I don't know. Have you taken trips? I'm trying to recall if I saw some on your page or not so far this year.
I went up north. So where I'm at, there's like a couple of coveys of chukar kind of locally, and there's a couple mountains that have some dusky grouse on it. Yeah. But generally I don't have anything for like another 4 hours or so until I get up north. So I started off with Tyler Sladen this year. We started out hunting rough grouse and dusky grouse up north, and I hunted like the mountain range before for rough grouse, and I did pretty well. But this year when I went in there, I just kind of like mapped it. I was like, oh, we'll be fine. We'll be good. It was hellish. We almost died multiple times. It was fun.
Yeah.
I pretty much, if you go on a hunt with me, there's always like a really good chance we might die or something. We'll
keep that
just a part of it, you know?
Yeah.
But he got a nice little roughie over his dog Nova. It was really cool. It was her first wild bird, cool. So on the opener, getting a nice roughie was pretty cool for him. And then we got into a pretty good amount of duskies the next day. Everything in range got it.
Nice.
So that's what matters.
Yep. Were you with him when he got the COVID?
Yeah, recently? That's who I got COVID from.
Oh man.
Yeah.
His sounded like he put him down for the count for a while, from what I saw.
So we stayed in like this little inn. We had been up. He shot a limit the day before me, Then we met up. We had wings at this bar in town there, and then the next day, well, we drove out. We set up camp and everything, and the next day we were gonna go hunt this area that I had scouted over the summer for ptarmigan,
Yep.
and it's just like just kind of one of those days where like shit starts to go wrong and it goes really wrong. So like we let the dogs out in the morning to go to the bathroom, and then we were gonna gather them up and go out. And we let the dogs out, and two of the younger pups, they just took off. Like they just headed on down the mountain, didn't want to come back, nothing.
Oh,
So that sucked. So Tyler's like not feeling so well, and we looked around for like 3 hours in the morning, which in the mountains it stays cool, but it gets hot when it as soon as it decides that it's gonna get hot, it's fucking
yeah.
hot. And we're like, all right, you go ahead. I head all the way on to like the backside of this mountain range that we were on, and then I was gonna hike over into like this canyon area, which is where the ptarmigan were, a few miles in, and hoping that maybe the dogs ran up and over there, because where we set up camp was like prime dusky area,
Nice.
like prime. I even told Tyler that I was like, dude, probably shouldn't let the pups out here. Like, guarantee they're gonna get into some duskies and disappear. And that's I'm betting that's exactly what happened. But
Yeah.
so I went out hunting and stuff, and I killed a limit, hiked in, killed a limit, came back in, and I seen Tyler, and he's like not looking good at all. And we had made a plan to like meet at the bottom of the mountain by like a certain time, and that's where I went to first. And I didn't see him there, but I got reception, and someone had found our dogs,
Oh, nice.
and it just so happened that I got reception at the very same time that the people who found our dogs was coming up to us, and it was just a shit show.
Yeah.
But I went in town, got the dogs because the lady like brought them back to her house and stuff, and went back up, and Tyler's like really looking shitty. I had no idea what was going on with him. And I was like, "You find the dogs?" He's like, "No, I went down there. I thought I heard them, and I just started throwing up." And like he was just all out of it. He's like, "I blacked out a bit."
Jeez.
And I was like watching his spirit disappear as he's telling me the story. And I was like, "Oh, well, I did. I got him. Like, we're good." And then like I don't know. I was good. I had my limit and everything, and he just didn't have the energy. So we went back into town, and we got a room in town, hoping that like maybe it was just altitude sickness.
Yeah.
Like we went and bought those air canisters and stuff
Yep.
that you can
Yep.
get. They really do help. If you have
Nice.
altitude sickness, they do help.
Okay.
Uh, which at 14,000 feet, it's like don't think you're like a sissy or something. Like it's very common. People get altitude sickness up there.
Yep.
So you just take that and you breathe it and stuff. But he was like dying, like straight up
Yeah.
dying. I like came in there like probably 5 or 6 times into the room, and he's like, "Good morning." I'm like, "It's still the same day, dude." Like he just was like in and out of it that much.
Oh
And
shit.
yeah, but like Tyler and I, we've been friends since like high school. Like I used to
Oh,
drive him to
nice.
school and stuff back in the day. So him and I are very close. So I just look after him like little brother.
Yeah.
That's how I think of him.
Nice.
And yeah, I like made ptarmigan dinner. I like cooked for the inn. I cooked like a bunch of ptarmigan for everybody and
Nice.
like fed
How do
people
you cook
there.
it?
So the week before I was at Gary Shaw's
Okay.
hunting prairie chickens with him, and Gary was talking about baking. I guess he's seen a recipe off the Project Upland uh book or something. It was prairie chicken promenade, I think. I think that's what he called it. But he's just basically baking it and throwing some toppings on there and stuff, kind of like a duck breast.
Okay.
And it was perfect, man. It's so nice.
Nice.
I always like to cook with green chilies too, so like it's like
Yeah, a little more kick to it.
delicious.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not kick, it's delicious.
Delicious.
And yeah, it's so good. Green chilies is like the perfect amount to be like, there's a little bit of heat there, but it's
Yep.
also like immense flavor. It's great.
Nice.
So like I cooked for a bunch of people in the inn. I called Tyler. I was like, are you hungry at all?" He's like, "I just threw up for like the seventh time. I'm not hungry." I'm like, "All right, whatever." So we spent the night there, and the next day, like he was dying, and I started feeling bad too. So I was like, I'm good. You know, we had a good time. Tyler and I go hard as shit with hunting. So
Yeah.
for us to like both look at each other and acknowledge that we need a day off, like
That's
it's needed.
yeah.
It's needed.
You know something's bad then.
Yeah. Like we're both like one of those people, you cut off our leg, we'll be like, all right, but we still have three more birds we gotta shoot.
Yeah.
Like, let's go.
Yeah. How many days of
uh
field do you usually get a year?
oh man. I go hunting probably at least every 3 days, at
Nice.
least.
That's
It just
awesome.
depends on the dogs if they're tired or not. Like Blossom, she's right there, she's passed out. Blossom. Yeah, she didn't even move. Um, so I try to hunt like every 3 days, and then I have like Thursday, Fridays off, and I hunt the entire Thursday, Friday. Like normally I drive, but I'm just gonna go camp tomorrow on a
Yep.
mountain and hunt duskies for a couple days.
Nice.
Uh, so yeah, I just get after it though all season long.
Yep.
Uh,
Yeah. Yeah, you
and I
you went out today and you got the COVID as well
yeah, I went out yesterday
yesterday.
and I killed a chucker. It was really nice and overcasty, and I was kind of feeling like 80% ish, you know.
Yep.
Uh, so I was like, all right, I can rough this. Like it's very rare for overcast days out here. So I was like, we got to go.
Are
So I took
those
River.
better for Chucker?
Well, it's just the
Overcast
heat.
days?
If
Oh,
it's not
yeah.
overcast, it's in the 90s and
Oh,
stuff, and
damn.
you can't. I don't ever run a setter in the 90s.
Yeah.
You know, like 75's still risking it with a setter, I think.
Yeah.
That's why I hunt so much in the mountains because it's usually like 65 or below up there.
Nice.
And then you can get, all day hunts out of your dogs instead of them like sweating to death and
Yeah.
all that stuff. But it was super overcast, so I went out there and the temp was 72 when I left my truck, and I had all my waters. I had like 3 gallons on me, and I made like still a short loop. Um, I had hunted there before, so I generally knew kind of about where they were going to be. Um, so I just made like this loop, and we were coming down, and the place that I hunt is so steep. As you're starting to walk, it's like every step you'll kick like boulders and rocks, and it'll just plummet down the mountain, and
Oh,
it's really
geez.
gnarly. Like
Yeah.
if you're not like straddling your gun with one hand, like keeping balance with your other, and just kind of like hoping everything goes good, it's really fun. It sucks, but it's like really really fun.
Yeah.
Uh, and you're just kind of surfing the mountain like the whole time.
That's
Uh,
crazy.
but I was starting to go down because Blossom looked like she was starting to get a little too hot, and I'll still kill plenty of birds this season. Like I'm not worried about killing birds. I just love being out hunting like
Yeah.
all the time. I live in the middle of nowhere, so I can just be out in nature all the time. And yeah, I was starting to go down, and like I look down at Blossom, which is like she's probably like 35 yards in front of me because it's steep. And she was only like 35 yards in front of me, and the rocks that she was going down started tumbling, but she locked up on point, and I like just looked down, seeing that she was on point. The rocks started rolling down, and then birds just start blowing up. So I'm like, shit, and I swing on them, and I got one, and that's plenty for me. Like
Yep.
I'm more about the hunting experience. I don't care how many I actually kill or not. I just really enjoy hiking and like knowing that I put a lot of energy into it, and I feel good. Like if I come back to the truck and I'm sweating and stuff, it's a good hunt. I
Yep.
like that.
Yeah.
People talk about how easy hunting could be, which if that's like your thing, go for it. That's cool.
Yeah.
But I like at the end of my hunts to be like dying. I like
Yep.
that shit. I wrestled in high school. You don't feel good unless you got
Yep.
your ass whooped a little bit.
Yep.
And yeah, it was very fun.
Nice.
Very fun time.
Well, at least you could breathe enough to be able to go hunt up there.
Yeah, but I regretted it this morning because uh I start work at like 7:30 in the morning, and I set my alarm for about 5:30, and I laid in bed for an hour and
Oh.
just like was dying this morning. I was drinking coffee, trying to like get myself going, and I was dying this morning, but
Yeah.
I still made it. I think I probably should take tomorrow off, but I'm not going to.
Do you when you camp, I think I saw a picture where do you just lay under the stars on a cot or do you actually take a tent? So,
I'll do just about any of it. So I was in the army, so like I really don't care about being comfortable
yeah.
with like anything. A lot of times I'll sleep in the bed of my truck. I took a carpet and a blow up mattress and I just flip the carpet over the blow up mattress and then I can set like my camping stuff on top of that.
Yep.
And then when I set up on a place, I'll usually pull out my camping tote, which has all my cooking stuff. And then I'll unfold the carpet and then blow up my air mattress in my truck and sleep in there. But like I did snowcock last year.
Okay.
So I'll, throw in a tent and stuff and a little air mattress and all that stuff and hike in and hunt. I'm not afraid to do any kind of random hiking,
Yeah.
hunting, whatever.
Yep.
Uh, I've slept in piles of mud before in the army. Like I don't really care. It doesn't bother me at all.
You'll
Things
sleep
bump into
wherever.
you at night. Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
care. Just got to get after it. If
Yeah. Do you have a topper on your truck or is it just open?
Yeah, I have a topper.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is really nice because what was it, the 8th or 9th or something? I did Colombian sharptail this year too,
Okay.
and it started downpouring like the second night there.
Yep.
It started downpouring on us, so it was so nice having a camper
Oh
top on
man, I
there,
bet.
and I was sleeping in there. It was really nice.
Do
It's
you
not that. Go ahead.
do you have a long bed or do you have a short bed?
It's a
You seem
five and
like
a
you're
half
taller.
footer, which
Okay.
no, I'm only 5'9",
Oh, you are?
but
Okay.
I make up for it. It's fun. A lot of energy.
Yeah.
Don't need to be
And
tall.
I guess that makes sense. You're a wrestler. Usually wrestlers are a little shorter.
Hmm. Yeah, we're strong little fuckers.
Yeah. Good center of
Yeah.
gravities.
Oh
That's
yeah.
probably why you can scale those mountains so good. You have a good center of gravity.
Man, I've just been just hard at life. Anything that seems to be real difficult and stuff. If someone tells me like, "Hey, this is really hard," I'm like, "All right, let me see what your
Yeah.
level of hard is. I gotta check it out now. You shouldn't have said that.
Yep.
Now I have to judge you as a man. You shouldn't have said that it was hard."
Yep.
So,
What's
uh,
what's one of speaking of hard hunts, what would you say is one of your hardest hunts that you've been on or like one of the hardest birds you feel to get?
well, I haven't killed the snowcock. I went hunting for him, but I didn't kill one. I didn't see one. I scouted for him like 2 weeks beforehand, and I went on all the ridges and stuff that I heard him at, expecting them to be there. But people that I met that were up there that had been there and hunted for snowcock before, they say that they'll fly from like mountaintop to mountaintop and stuff like that. Like they really get after it.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that I didn't see them there, but you know, I was in feathers. I had lots of droppings and everything, and a lot of time when I was up there, like I'm doing most of my hunts solo too. Like I don't have
Yeah.
anyone who does a lot of the stuff with me. Um, a lot of it, like I was just like just having a whole ridge line just between my legs, and I'm just scaling across, like putting my gun up and then scooting, putting my gun across,
Dang.
and it's super fun though. I love that. Uh,
How do your dogs do with that?
oh, that's not a hunt that you should really take your
I was
dogs
gonna
on.
say that's gotta be. I was like,
Yeah.
man, that doesn't sound like they would even be able to go up there at all.
So there was a dude that has done it with a dog. He's a what the heck? Like a border collie type dog,
Okay.
and I guess it alerts him to the snowcock, I guess. But that guy is like a legendary snowcock hunter. I'm gonna feel bad for butchering his name, but his last name's Gerhardt. I think he's from Wyoming. I
Okay.
think.
I'll have to check it
Uh,
out.
yeah, he's really badass. I wish one day he'd like message me or something. He's a pretty cool dude. He's
Yeah.
killed a lot of snowcock. Um, but that was probably the hardest hunting, just because of like the roughness and stuff, and after the upchucker guys went over there and killed them, like everyone wants to go kill them. So
Yeah.
I got in there after everyone has already had their fun with them and stuff. So there's definitely not as many, but I'll get
Yep.
back after them and everything. I
Yeah,
only have them and the spruce grass left to kill for the lower
nice.
48.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Have you hunted Alaska?
No, not yet, but I plan on trying to do it next year.
Yeah, that'd be a fun place to hunt. We had
Yeah.
I'm trying to think what his actual name is. He's an Alaskan bird hunter on
Is
Instagram.
it Evan Winthrop? It's either him or his partner. There's the two
Yeah,
dudes.
and I
They're
cannot think
they're
of
cool dudes.
yeah, because he's from Iowa. The Alaska bird hunter's from Iowa, which is where we're from, where
Yeah.
he's originally from. We had him on the podcast, and man, that would be some cool terrain to hunt through. I think just
Yeah. I have a friend that went up there recently, hunted with him, and going back to me testing hardness and stuff,
yeah,
uh, Tyler Webster said it was like the hardest thing ever. So after my friend went there, I called him and I was like, "Hey, what do you think about it and stuff?" And he's like, "No, man, it's seriously difficult up there." So
yeah.
my friend telling me that it was hard means it was a
Yeah,
fucking hard
yeah. I
hunt.
listened to the podcast that Tyler Webster did of his hunting. Yeah, he made it sound like it was not an easy feat to
Yeah.
to bag some birds there. But so so Himalayan snowcock, you say would probably be your hardest
Yeah, that's
bird
like
to hunt.
a yeah, hardest bird to hunt, but like if you just want to hunt hard and like hate yourself and all sorts of stuff, just go chase chukar, go to like Utah or Nevada or Idaho or something and go up there and have real good fun time.
Yeah,
Those birds are gonna laugh at you and stuff. You're gonna hate yourself, but you'll get better as a hunter overall chasing them because you can't just like, all right, there my dog is on point, and you have this tall grass to blind the bird from when you get in there and stuff.
yeah,
You got to really practice like how you approach in on the point and stuff like that, and really pay attention to wind and everything else like that. So there's a lot to chukar hunting that people just don't really get. Like there's a lot of planted hunters that think that like those birds act the same. They don't. They
yeah.
don't at all. Come on out. I'll show you. They don't. We'll have a good time.
Yeah, it
They'll
would.
laugh
That
at
is
you.
definitely one thing I want to try is just because I enjoy like the physical aspect of hunting. You know, like
Oh yeah.
we went out to Wyoming, and I wouldn't say those hills are like they aren't much, but like
Hmm.
compared to Iowa, they're obviously you're at a higher elevation than what we are at Iowa, and you know you got a little steeper hills, but it's like you'd climb up and down. It's like, all right, that was fun, you know, and the guys
Hmm.
that we went with, they were a little. They had their hands on their knees and taking breaks and stuff going up and down the hills. And my buddy
Yeah.
and I,
Maybe
that's
they had
usually,
COVID.
yeah, that, that's definitely their excuse. Uh, but my buddy and I, that Nick, that's usually on the podcast, we enjoyed it because we liked a little pain like that as well. But
Hmm.
yeah, no, Chucker would be everybody we have on is like, dude, you got to do Chucker. Like you just got to try it sometime.
Yeah. There's
So
a contest coming up in Battle Mountain, Nevada.
okay,
And it's wild bird hunt. It's a really fun competition. Really, really fun. I'm planning on trying to go to that and do that.
what's it all consist
Uh,
of?
well, it's not like a legitimate competition. It's just like a fun hunt type
Yeah,
thing. So like if you don't, it's like 0 to 6 for the limit. So like if you shoot 0 birds, you're competing against 0 number killers. If you shoot 1 bird, like you're in the roster for hunting or winning awards for like the number one,
yep,
killing it. And it's off of weight and stuff, which
okay,
varies every year. Um, it's super cool. This will be my first time going to it, so
nice,
I hope to see my breeder over there. It's Britt Forrester with Skedaddle Setters.
okay,
Um, he's won it a few times. Like he's gotten the limit and the right weight and stuff. Um, so he's pretty awesome.
yeah,
Uh, but that whole area has a lot of chukar. Like it's if you drive through and you see all these mountains that look like you don't want anything to do with them, there's birds all up and down that stuff.
that's crazy.
You know,
How
it's fun.
do you only have one dog right now?
So Tyler and I, we like rotating out our dogs.
Okay.
I only have two of my own, two English setters, two females,
Nice.
and Tyler has like a dozen or so setters.
Yeah.
So like he'll send me a few, and we'll hunt and we'll trade them out and stuff. Like he has my older dog Nebula. He's gonna be going to Minnesota or Wisconsin or something. He's going somewhere to hunt rough grouse. So I sent him my older dog Nebula because she's
Is he going
pretty
with
savvy
Gary?
with rough grouse. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, he's going with Gary. So
Nice.
those guys are gonna have a lot of fun. And Nebula, she's pointed a whole bunch of roughies. So we'll see how the legendary UP birds are,
Yeah.
in comparison to out west. You
Nice.
know,
What
everyone says how hard they are, so
yeah,
gotta try it out.
yeah, for sure. What brought you onto the setters? Have you always had those or
No, so I grew up having Brittany's back in New Jersey, and that's all I ever had. That's all my family ever had. So we never dabbled or anything like that. My dad said when he was a kid he had a cocker, but besides that, they only had Brittany's growing up, and that's what I had. And after the army, and I moved out west and everything, Tyler got me hooked up with that breeder, Britt,
yep.
up north there, and ever since having setters, I'll never not have setters.
Nice.
They're awesome dogs, the heat tolerance for them isn't always the best, but if you live like by the mountains and everything, you can go up in the mountains and hunt duskies and stuff until the lower stuff gets cold enough for them to really run.
Yep. What elevation are you usually hunting at?
So I live at 7,600,
Okay.
and I usually hunt between like 9,000. That's usually where like the lower range of the duskies start to like 13 or 14.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So it's
Heck yeah.
it's generally pretty cold up there,
Yeah.
you
Oh,
know.
that's yeah. So I
Even
got go ahead.
even in like the summertime and everything, it still stays like if you go up there in the late afternoons and stuff, it'll be in the 60s in the middle
Oh,
of the
nice.
summer when it's 100 degrees down low. So
Oh,
my
dang.
dogs are like, I don't know if you looked at any of them, but they're pretty jacked,
Yeah.
And
Yep.
it's because I get to run them hard all year
Yeah.
long,
Well, shit, they're
and
climbing
it's tough
mountains every
terrain.
day. You
Yeah,
know, I
yeah.
mean it's just kind of like friggin' you think about like big game. You know, all the big game lives up in the mountainside. They got to
Hmm.
be big and strong to be able to climb up those hills and deal with that terrain and whatnot.
Oh yeah, I run
But
into elk all the time.
yeah, we
Yeah.
ran into we're in Wyoming. We saw our first like moose. It was probably like only 40 yards from us. I was
Hmm.
like, damn, that thing is big. Like,
Massive.
I didn't
Yeah,
realize how big they were until, like you actually see one out in its own element. I've seen one at
doing
like
its thing.
yeah, that was the craziest thing is we're um, hunting for bluegrass and this is like the first time ever doing it, and so we're in
Hmm.
the woods. And I'm like, man, I'm so far out of my element. I've never hunted like this before, and we're going through down trees and slipping on these rocks and all this other bogus stuff. And all of a sudden, I'm like, Nick's like, holy shit, there's a moose. And the thing was like, I mean, it was probably only like 10 yards in front of the dogs. I was like, oh my God, and then it just like stopped and looked at us. I was like, that was pretty cool. It was pretty cool to
Yeah,
see. Just
that's
because
pretty gnarly.
we don't see that in, like in Iowa, it's like, oh, there's a deer. It's like
Yeah.
another deer. But,
You
we don't
guys have
see,
really big deer though.
we do have some big ass deer out here. That is definitely
Yeah.
true.
I've hunted pheasants and whitetail there in
Okay.
Ottawa, Iowa.
Okay. Nice. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's not a bad location.
Yeah.
Uh,
We had a lot of fun over
yeah,
there.
yeah, yeah. Iowa can be fun if you make it fun, I guess.
Yeah, that's everywhere. That's even in the army and stuff. Everyone has like duty stations that they hated and everything.
Yeah,
Fort Hood is where Tyler and I were stationed, and um, everyone would get off work and everything and just go booze it up. We boozed it up a little bit too, but most of the time we would like have our bow fishing bows and stuff, and
nice.
we would go disappear into some rivers and be like waist deep in water with headlamps on, shooting gar and carp and everything,
That's
staying
awesome.
out till like 3 in the morning, getting a couple hours of sleep, going in, doing PT and everything.
Yeah,
It was a good time.
yeah, that does sound
But
like a ton of fun. So what Gotta ask you what drew you to wearing your shirts? Those crazy shirts that you
Uh,
wear.
so if you're like a hardcore bird hunter and stuff, you know that no matter what you're wearing, it doesn't really matter. And there's like a lot of people who take things just way too seriously nowadays. And
Gotta wear all
if
that.
people calm down and just like relax a little bit and try to have fun and enjoy, that you're in the nature, like who knows like where nature and everything will be in the next couple,
Yeah.
30, 40 years from now. You
Yep.
should really take it in and relax and have fun and enjoy yourself. And there's definitely too many people out there that just take themselves and what they're doing just way too freaking seriously.
Yeah.
I sneak up to elk in this at like 5 yards. You just play the wind.
Yep.
You're fine. I swear. You're
You
gonna
don't
be okay.
you don't need the $400 hoodie.
Nope. Nope. You'll be all right. Just be smart, be calm, relax, have a good time, enjoy
Yep.
yourself. Don't take everything so seriously. You know,
Yep.
knew a
Yeah,
man
dude,
who died in a hurry once. Not good.
yeah. No, when I was looking through your profile, I saw the shirts. I was like, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool to be.
Yeah, it's
You never
it's
know
funny.
what
People
shirt you're
love to
gonna be
make
pulling.
compliments and stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
I like keep like a really good steady flow of like new ones too.
Yep.
No,
That's the best. So you got
it's fun.
had a couple trips already this year. What's some of the rest of your big plans for the rest of the season?
So I just have the spruce grouse left. So I think I'm gonna go to Idaho for spruce grouse. Um, and then I don't know, probably go to Nevada, and then once the snow and stuff starts coming down, I'll probably go back to Nevada and hunt more chukar. I just really obsessed with chukar.
Yeah.
It's
Is it
That's the
because of
shit, man.
like the terrain and the toughness of it, or just the bird and everything in general?
It's kind of everything in general. They're gonna take you to like really pretty places. I know everyone hates when fires and stuff happens out west, but they also hate the cheat grass because it's invasive and everything. But every time I see it, I just see all these chuckers that are going to be infesting that place in like 3 more years.
Yeah.
And you'll see some beautiful views up there, man. I swear it's super pretty. I lived in Reno, Nevada for a while. I had all my friends from New Jersey come out, and there was no snow or anything in the forecast. And I was like, man, I really want to take you guys chucker hunting. It'd be really cool though if you guys got to see what like out here looked like in the snow.
Yeah.
Well, we start driving out to the area that I was taking them to, and it started snowing, like really heavy snow. And I'm just super happy. And we start hiking up the mountain, and it is pouring on us with snow, like dumping on us. And we just get to the peak, and like the fifth guy finally makes it up there. And we've been waiting for, I
Yeah.
hauled ass up there to show them. They're all like very in shape for New Jersey, but I like hauled ass up there, and I was waiting, and all the snow just stopped falling. So everything was snow covered on top of all the hills that we were on,
Yep.
and you could see for miles in every single direction, and it was just absolutely beautiful. And it's just like moments like that you don't see, you know, hunting a lot of the lower prairie birds and stuff like
Yep.
that. You still can, but you definitely see it from a different way when you're up top there,
Yeah.
and it's really beautiful. And
That's how
yeah,
like Wyoming was. So like, the prairie's cool to hunt, but it's just like kind of flat and, just like just grass. Where like Wyoming, you had just miles of sagebrush, but then in the background you had these big mountains that were already snow covered on the top, on the
yeah,
peaks and stuff. And I'm like, man, that's cool to see, and it's not something that I see every day. So it made it even that much better to, just kind of when we were hunting, I was like, I'm not really even looking at the ground for, bird droppings and stuff. I'm just kind of like mesmerized by the backdrop that we're
yeah, by the
actually hunting.
beauty.
Yeah. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
man.
you don't even, next thing you know, you walk 10 miles, you're like, oh, didn't even realize it because you're taking in all the scenery, and It's like, man, that's freaking cool. And
Yeah.
I like that. I think it's cool that you guys like you camp out a lot, where you're really like taking in all the nature, where I mean, we do like when we travel. Sometimes, a lot of times, we'll do like an Airbnb, and there's times where I'm like, man, it would be cool to, this time we spent one night camping, and then I had to get back home for some medical stuff, but um, I was like, it's kind of cool just experiencing it in a different way. Like you're out there the entire time. You're not sitting there watching football games on TV, and you're just like completely disconnected with the rest of the world. It's like
Yeah.
that's nice. That is
That's
nice
where
to
it's
hear.
at, man, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes like a little scary if you don't have like any reception. I mean, we got the Garmin, for the inReach if we need it, but it's like
Hmm.
it's still cool because you're like, as long as nobody's getting hurt, you don't really need reception for anything.
Yeah, you'll be fine. Get one of your Garmin 200i and
Yep.
download that stuff and disappear in the mountains and have a
Yeah.
wonderful time. And
Yep.
you'll try your best to write it down. I have a notepad that I try to take notes on and stuff and journal some of my hunts. And I get done writing it and I read it and I'm like, man, that is nothing in comparison to what it actually was. You
Yeah.
know,
So
just
go ahead.
there's just so much to like take in when you
Yeah.
really let yourself be lost.
Yep.
I disappear. It's like everywhere around me, pretty much no service any direction you go.
Yep.
And it's just kind of like one of those things that we're used to out here. My boss Chad said it a long time ago when I first started working for him was live where you want a vacation, and that's why we
Makes
kind of
sense.
live in the middle of nowhere,
Yep.
and we have a hell of a good time.
Yeah. In the Western states, man, for bird hunting, dude, you can't beat it.
No,
Like you
no, but
get
yeah,
to
I mean, you guys have okay stuff. It just depends on what you're searching for, what
yeah.
you need.
I think the biggest thing is we don't have variety like you guys do, right? We
Hmm.
got pheasants and we have quail. Um, a small number of quail. There's not a ton of them. There's some, but not as many as I'd like to see. But like you get to Montana and you have sharpies, you have sage grouse. You get to Wyoming, you have sage grouse, you have sharpies, you have small areas of chucker. I mean, there's just so many birds out there that you can go after. Um, I think just it makes it fun because all season you can be like, well, I want to do something different, for the next couple days. So I'm going to go chase this bird, and it's just completely different hunting, right?
Yeah,
It's like I'm guessing I haven't done it, but I'm guessing chucker hunting is completely different than bluegrass, or duskies, whatever you call them.
yeah, entirely different.
So it's like that's pretty awesome that you're not like that far away to be able to kind of
Yeah.
switch back and
Well, I
forth.
even I even have it differently than a lot of people more up north, because I have like more deserty, like pure desert
Okay.
type chucker. So like you'll see some people say that hunt like red rock chucker, and it it sucks because they're definitely more sparse and in more spread out areas and stuff.
Yep.
Uh, but like I still love to travel up north and hunt like traditional chucker hunting hills and mountains, and
Nice.
it's really wild too, man, when you go go to like Salt Lake or something and look over towards the northwest and you'll see like some mountains over there. Um those are like regular sized chucker hills, like chucker mountains and stuff,
Yeah.
that you can go hunt on. And just to look at it from the ground and then spend your entire afternoon hiking to the tippity top, and you get to the top and you run into like two coveys and you get what you get and they disappear, and then um you got to hike back down now. So now
Yeah.
you have like 3 more hours of hiking down after you just spent 4 or 5 hours hiking up, and
That's
it's
crazy.
super cool. It's a
Yeah.
great time.
Is that kind of what chucker hunting is you're just like continually climbing in elevation to a certain point? Or are you kind of scaling across like at a certain height?
It depends on how pissed off you are for that day, and what type of experience you want to have with it. Because sometimes you'll like hike up and you'll get to like a plateau, and it'll have like a face to
Yeah.
whatever the ridge line is and stuff, and you can hunt the ridge line all the way down, and you only have to do like one climb up. Um, or you could find like a whole ass Chucker Mountain, and you spend your entire day getting into birds, but you're hiking the entire way up, and it's just brutal and it sucks, and you're
Yeah.
enjoying yourself at the same time.
Yeah.
And then you get to the top, and you might traverse a little bit and then go down. But um, with snowfall, it seems to be you find the height and then you traverse from there.
Okay.
Um, but if it's been wet and you go up, those birds are scattered all throughout. You don't know where the heck they're gonna be.
Yeah.
You kind of do. Like once you get it down, once you really start hunting chukar and stuff, uh, you can kind of like pick out whereabouts it'll be during the time of day and everything.
Yeah.
Um, but it's
Nice.
just rough, rough shit all day
Yeah.
long.
Yeah.
It's really fun.
That's
Really fun
awesome.
though.
So what's one of your most memorable or favorite hunts that you can think of?
Um, I don't know, man. I would probably say, um, hmm. I had a really good time last year. I got a limit of Mearns quail over my older setter, Nebula.
Okay.
We got into 13 coveys of
Oh
Mearns
wow.
quail, and we got a limit. And the day before, my younger pup, Blossom here, uh, she had ate a Sonoran toad, so she was tripping balls. So I like gave her that whole next day off, and it was just my older dog Nebula and I kept her in close and worked her into the little bridges and stuff. Have you been to Arizona yet?
I haven't. No. That's on
Man,
the bucket
it's so
list.
pretty. It's so pretty. You're just walking and it's like almost knee high grass and little oak shrubs and everything.
Oh nice.
And it doesn't look like there's birds, and then your dog locks up on point and there's just like 15, 20 birds get up in front of you and stuff. And
Yeah.
um with covey birds, I like to just take like one, maybe two,
Yep.
I like
Yep.
I like shooting a double gun. If I'm pissed off, I'll shoot an auto, but usually I just shoot an side by side, and whatever I get on the covey rise, that's usually what I
Yep.
do, and then just move on. Um, so I probably think that was one of my favorite hunts that I've had, because it was just me and myself and my dog, and we got a really nice limit of Mearns quail, and um, I only killed two hens out of it, so that was
Nice.
cool too.
Yeah.
Most of them were all little cocks, and it's I don't know. It was an enjoyable hunt, you know,
Yep.
very enjoyable.
Yeah. How far is
But
Arizona from you?
that's
Or
10 hours.
oh, that's not too bad.
Well, two Arizona is only like 4 hours for me.
Okay.
Uh, like Phoenix, I think it is. Um, but then it's like 10 hours for me to get to where I actually want to go.
Yeah. Nice. No, that doesn't sound too bad.
Yeah,
Do you
it's
what gauge are you carrying for shotgun? Obviously it's gotta be super
uh,
light.
I I actually don't really like hunting with light guns. I like
Really?
the heavier guns. Yeah, I like my CZ Bob White. It's a 20 gauge, and it's a
Okay.
pretty heavy gun.
Yep.
I swing it really nice, and that's more important to me than what it weighs.
Yeah.
You know, I'm
Yeah, I
kind
had
of
a
really into it sucking, so the heavier
yeah.
gun helps a little bit.
I kind of agree with like a gun being too light. So I actually won it a 20 gauge Stevens 555
Mhm.
over and under at a Pheasants Forever banquet. And that thing was so light that when I'd come up to swing it, it would just be like I'd swing so fast that I'd just be like way in front of the bird. And I'm like, man, this thing is like almost too freaking light for me to even
Yeah,
shoot because it's like you barely even feel it there, you know? And
yeah. A lot of times when you go to shoulder it, you'll shoulder it, and then you'll be in like such an anticipation you'll bring the gun up a little bit higher off your shoulder too. So
Okay.
you'll have people that are talking about pushing their cheek to the gun, and then your sight line is all
Yeah.
messed up there.
Yep.
I used to be a competitive trap shooter. I was like a
Okay.
two-time state champion trap shooter for New Jersey.
Dang, nice.
I was pretty good back in the day.
Yeah.
Now I just kill wild birds, totally different. Um, but all of our trap guns and stuff were really heavy guns,
Yeah.
and
We're using
we
like 30 or 32-inch barrels.
32-inch barrel on
Yeah.
there, and you can really reach out and you have a really steady line.
Yep.
And
Do you have a raised rib on most of those?
mhm,
Yeah.
yeah,
Nice. Yeah,
yeah,
those they got like some I've looked at like the gun places here. They have some of those Berettas that are the trap shooting ones, and dude, those things are like carrying around a freaking log.
yeah, man. They
It's
are. Well, you're only just walking up to a 16-yard line, and then
yeah,
you put it up, shoulder,
yeah,
and then put it down. In extreme repetitiveness.
yep.
Uh, yeah,
So how
yeah.
long? So did you just do competitive trap shooting just in high school, or did you do any of it after that?
So I started when I was in like sixth grade, and I did it until I was 18. So I did it for I guess like 8 years or 9 years.
Yeah, nice. Is it
Yeah,
just like 25 rounds per
yeah.
competition, or
Per
what is how did those
well, you
work?
it just depends on what you're shooting because sometimes you do like 1,000 yard, 1,000 round marathons and stuff. That's like an all day shoot.
Damn.
Um, but generally it's like 200 targets is like a normal kind of shoot.
Yeah.
Um, and then there's like different ways you can do it, like handicaps. So you'll see like the walkways leading up to a trap line. And handicap is stepping backwards off
Okay.
the line. Um, and
Man,
there's doubles, and
I can't even imagine shooting 1,000 rounds in one day.
it's pretty fun.
Like, holy
Pretty fun.
shit.
Even with those heavy guns, you still get a
Yeah.
little bit of bruise.
I was gonna say they probably don't have much recoil being that heavy, do they?
No, no, barely any at all.
Yeah.
You know.
But man, 1,000 rounds, that would still have a
Yeah,
you,
but you practice shouldering a lot, so like, uh, I smoke most of my birds pretty quick.
yeah.
On the rise. I generally get two, or if I have my auto, I usually get three birds, off of a cuffy rise of something.
Yeah.
Um, so you get pretty drilled into that stuff.
Yeah. That's what I need to get faster at is acquiring my target faster.
Yeah. Is that your shot cam
Yeah.
that I see?
Yep.
Yeah. You need to practice a little bit more on your swing through on the lead.
Yeah. I
Like
feel like what I do
as
is
you're pulling the trigger.
like I get ahead of it and then I guess where the bird's gonna be and then I
Mhm.
shoot instead of like
Following
and then
through.
continuing going. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah. I was watching.
I got some shit to work on. I'm like
Yeah.
it's embarrassing. Like part of me is like, God, it's so embarrassing posting some of these videos, but then it's also like I'm sure there's other people out there that have the same struggle.
Yeah, it's a super common thing. A lot of people do that. Uh, it's something that you have to like really train yourself, and you have to kind of talk to yourself while you're shooting.
Yeah.
Like anytime that I hear like a bird bust, it almost goes in like slow mo. Like everything around me goes in like slow mo,
Yep.
and I talk to myself, and I tell myself like put it on it. Where is it going? Pull the trigger, and as you know, I'm swinging through. I'm swinging with the same speed as the bird.
Yep.
And following through. And that's
Yeah.
something you like really have to practice doing and talking to yourself.
Yep. I think
You can
like
even do
one
that
thing
as you're doing like shouldering drills.
yeah. I think one thing that I need to like what I noticed too is when I shoot, instead of like the shot cam following the bird, like as it's like going down after I hit it, I shoot and then I pull up. And I'm like, a part of me wonders if like that's a bad habit that I'm forming for like, so when I shoot and I miss, I'm like looking to see instead of like just continue following the bird to make sure that it's down, you know?
Yeah.
So I'll have to get some mental notes on me and just
You got to imagine every one of those birds is an orange disc.
yeah.
That's all it is. Just an
Yep.
orange disc. Don't imagine their wings, just imagine the body size and just follow it through and uh, trick your brain into killing that bird every time.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll have to take that advice. That'll be good. Hopefully my
Yeah.
shot cam videos will get better for you.
Oh, it's
You're
all
probably
good.
like
It's all
you're probably
good.
sitting there like, oh God.
No,
Just
I don't. I
cringing
never say
watching
that about anyone.
it.
A perfect person would hate their life. You
Yeah,
know, you
true
gotta you
that.
gotta have things that you can fix and develop and be better at.
Yep.
Perfect people suck.
Yeah.
They
That
do.
is the truth. And people that think they're perfect suck.
Yeah, very much so.
Yep.
Very much so.
So awesome, man. Well, I appreciate you coming on the podcast. We had a lot of fun. Learned a lot, and so I'll take that. I'll take that shooting advice and try to put it to work. Looking forward to hopefully you get a couple dusky grouse tomorrow
Yeah.
on your hunt, and hopefully you can check off those last two birds in the lower 48 here soon this year, and make it up to Alaska eventually.
Oh yeah.
So
Right on.
awesome. Well, I appreciate it. You have a good rest of your night.
You too.